Our session. I want us to handle something very short in crop production. So first of all, make sure you take your register from the LMS and also make sure that you have stable network for this session. We are going to deal with greenhouse site selection in this lesson. And these are our lesson outcomes. So the first session outcome is that by the end of this lesson, you should be able to define the term greenhouse. And also that by the end of this lesson, you should also be able to explain the factors that we consider while selecting a greenhouse site. So one by one, let's go to definition of terms. Let's us define the term greenhouse. So maybe a trial from one of us. What do you think, or what is a greenhouse? Someone can just make a random trial. What is a greenhouse?
A greenhouse is an artificial structure which is made up of a polythene sheets which are transparent in color to allow light to pass through.
A greenhouse is an artificial structure which is made up of a polythene sheets which are transparent in color to allow light to pass through.
That is very true. That is very true. Thank you so much. That should be Lillian. That is a good definition. So just to give you, just to clarify the definition, as she has said, it is a structure that is entirely or chiefly transparent material. That is both the walls and the roof. And that transparent material can either be glass or polythene paper. So I just want us to see an image of an example of a greenhouse. So what you are seeing on the screen, that is an example of a polythene paper greenhouse. Then on the other side we have a glass house. So that is how the two may look like. So let's look at now factors that we consider when we are selecting a site for greenhouse establishment. And the first factor is availability and quality of water. You have to consider the availability of water because entirely a greenhouse depends on irrigation. So there must be water that is available, and the water must be of good quality. That is, it should not be unhealthy to handle, or it should not be very dirty because it may block or clog the drip lines. Then the other factor is topography. You don't need a very steep slope for a greenhouse. You just need a flat area or a slightly sloping area. Then we also have windbreaks. So remember, as we are saying, a greenhouse is made of polythene or glass. It can easily be damaged or destroyed by wind. So you need to have windbreaks that can be in the form of trees in that locality. Then other factors include climatic conditions. That is, crop production in greenhouse is limited by low light intensity, so you need to look for a place that has good exposure of light. Then the other one is room for expansion. Look for a place or select a place that you can expand your structure later or in future. Then the other one is availability of labor. You will need people to work in your greenhouse, so make sure you are in a place, or you locate your greenhouse in a place where you can access labor. Then the other factor is infrastructure, that is proximity to transport network. You'll need to, as we will say next, you'll need to go to the markets, you'll need to bring your products to the greenhouse. So choose a place that is easily accessible in terms of infrastructure. Then the other factor is market accessibility. As I've said before, in infrastructure, you need to build your greenhouse somewhere where you can access the market. Then the other one is legal considerations. Consider the laws that govern construction of greenhouses in the country, so that you are not at loggerheads with the law. Then the other one and the last one is greenhouse orientation. So most greenhouses in the winter, in those areas which experience distinct differentiations of the seasons, the greenhouses are oriented on an east-west orientation, so that the greenhouse can have maximum exposure to light since as the sun rises and sets. So that brings us to the end of the session. Maybe I need to confirm whether we have understood what we've gone through. Someone help me state factors that are considered when we are selecting a greenhouse site. What factors do we consider when we are selecting a greenhouse site?
Topography. Topography.
Topography, yes.
Topography, yes.
Labor.
Labor.
Yes, labor. That's
Yes,
true.
labor. That's true.
Yes, we have soil type.
Soil type. Yes, that is very good.
That is very good.
That is very true. That is
That
very
is
true.
very true. That is very
So
true.
I see we
So
have
I
captured
see
something. Now I've assigned our assignment for you that will be submitted in our next session. So note down that assignment. Describe 5 advantages of using a greenhouse for crop production. That will account for 10 marks, and that will be our cut 1. So make sure you submit that assignment in our next lesson. So thank you very much for attending the lesson. Let's meet next week.